Nigerians in Diaspora Commission says it is hopeful that the National Assembly will soon pass the Diaspora voting bill that will allow Nigerians living abroad to participate in the electoral process by voting candidates of their choice. Well, Chairman CEO of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Dabiri, said this here in Abuja at an event to mark NIDCOM's 5th anniversary. Well, the chairman says the bill will help Nigerians in diaspora to participate more in the growth of democracy in the country. While appreciating the federal government for supporting the commission as it continues to address challenges faced by Nigerians abroad, the NIDCOM chairman asked for more funding to enable the commission build a permanent structure for smooth and better operations.
The Diaspora voting bill has been sponsored by the Speaker of the House of Representatives. It's going through constitutional amendment. I'm hoping that we succeed in getting that part of the constitution amended so that the diaspora can vote. Now here's the thing. There's still going to be a second line of amendment. That has to do with INEC. So the job of the parliament is to just amend the laws to make it possible in the first place. When that is done, you see, I have to go back to INEC to say, okay, when will the infrastructure be ready? How do you want to do it? In some countries, you can't vote if you have not gone to your country in the last 4 years, in the round of elections. So it will be unique to our own peculiarities as Nigerians. So there's nothing to be afraid of. And then the definition of a diaspora for purposes of even voting is that you're a legal resident, you have an address, and you pay tax where you reside. So that will be the definition of a diaspora. And then it's easier again because already we are developing a database of Nigerians in the diaspora. So I'm hoping that the parliament will do what they have to do and pass and amend the relevant aspect of the constitution.
We still do not have our own office. We are like in 3 or 4 different places scattered around Abuja. If I need some of my directors, it takes 30 minutes to get them. We've made proposals to the government. We need our own diaspora plaza where all the NIDCOM staff will be in one place, where the diaspora, when they come into Abuja, we are the embassy of the Nigerians in the diaspora in Nigeria.
Well, the chairman and chief executive officer of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Dabiri, joins us now in the studio to talk about the agency. Thank you so much for being on the news tonight.
Thank you. Nice to see you again. And good evening.
Thank you for joining
Well, your
us.
commission has handled over 1,000 petitions are here in 5 years, dealing with emergencies, deportations, trafficking, and others. Well, this is impressive, but it also highlights the challenges the Nigerians in diaspora face. In the last 5 years, let's start on a good note. What would you say has been your biggest success at NIDCOM?
That today you can't talk, we've put diaspora issues on the front burner. You've talked about those. What about the diaspora investments? The diaspora remittances. In the last 5 years, the diaspora have remitted over $90 billion to the Nigerian economy. Now, we know the remittances goes to basic living of family. For instance, you will just say, you're going home, give my mother $1,000 to take care of herself and all that. So, but it has helped the economy. And the CBN governor has also put in place more measures to make it even better for the diaspora. And then investments. The diaspora, they've been investing particularly in healthcare. In the last 2 years, you'll be surprised at the number of hospitals that have been set up in Nigeria by the diaspora. And we're trying to work with all our doctors to come together and build, a center of excellence, a medical center of excellence, because they are the best anywhere in the world. Education, they've been investing, ICT, agriculture, food business. We have the Diaspora Investment Summit, second week of November every year, and this year was really amazing, what the diaspora are doing. So we can't ignore the diaspora. And in the last 5 years, we celebrate the best in us, and we let people know that, look, we are simply the best anywhere in the world. And when we started by celebrating, they would say, hey, what is your own? But now they even call us and say, look, we've done this. In America, just in the last 2 months, about 9 won the various elections in the United States of America. In Canada, you know that a Nigerian Canadian just became the head of all doctors in Canada, not the Nigerian Canadian, all doctors in Canada. And we can go on and on and on about the successes. So, but here's the thing. It's one thing to succeed everywhere in the world, But don't forget home. Look back and see what you can do. That is the message. We're not saying pack your bags and come home. We're saying let's work together. You know, with this administration, the Bola Tinubu administration is determined. You understand diaspora because he was a diaspora himself. So let's work together and build that country.
That brings me to my next question. You talked about all the successes, but you also said, look, we are just scratching the surface.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? When you talk about this over $90 billion remitted by Nigerians abroad, this shows their economic contribution to the country. So how do you then turn what people have coined the brain drain into brain gain? In your quiet time, what do you think and say, look, we've done all these things, but we need to do more? What is that more that you think about?
We don't even say, we say brain circulation.
I love it.
It's not brain circulation because that, let's say the doctor who was trained in Nigeria, don't forget a lot of people of this were trained in Nigeria. Yes. So there's something good about our educational system. They were trained here and they are being sought after all over the world. You find that by the time you go to these places, I mean, Nigerians are in high demand. So we call it brain circulation. And here's the thing, and I'm sure you want to talk about Jackpa. You know, it's okay to go, but where are you going to? Are you going to become a better person? Is there any point on going abroad and then being worse than what you were running away from? So what we try to do is working with other agencies, like for instance, there's the migration dialogue just ongoing. How do you encourage regular migration? You know, these jobs are being sought after. So why shouldn't we make it possible that even when you're going, go properly, earn your money legally, and then by the time you are doing that, you'll also be remitting money back home. The Philippines makes about $6 billion per annum by just having their citizens go work abroad. So we can have a structured, managed migration. And Ministry of Labor, Foreign Affairs, everybody has to work together to make that happen. So we talk of brain circulation. Okay. You know, I just have a young man, I was at his program in Lagos yesterday, is manufacturing chips that he will be exporting out of Nigeria. He came from America to do that here. And he says, you know what, that will be my, and there's so many, I can't, you know, go into everything.
And so the story
really,
is, as you're leaving, you're having that brain circulation, you have to think of where you're coming from. Now I want to talk about the bill. We saw that report, diaspora voting. It's been a long-standing demand in the country. With it passing first reading, how confident are you that this will, in fact, we can see a Nigeria where Nigerians in diaspora can actually vote? And we listened to some of the eligibility criteria that you were talking about.
I can't tell you how confident, but I'm hopeful, I'm optimistic. It's all in the hands of the parliament. But the speaker is a sponsor of the bill this time around. So all we need to do is keep lobbying them, talking to them. You see, there are still challenges, no doubt about it. There are some who will tell you, are you sure we can do this? While we haven't gotten our own electoral, whatever, 100%. But at what point do you get to 100% of anything you want to do? You must take those chances. But it's left to Parliament. We keep talking to them. We keep lobbying them. And hopefully, they will see reason to pass it. There's no doubt that. But what I'm even saying is that we don't have to copy others. Let's do what is peculiar to us. What are our own challenges? How do we ensure that in trying to pass a diaspora voting, we don't create more problems? So the public hearing has to be really scrutinized. You know, ideas will be welcome naturally. So let's just be optimistic.
All right, and just to follow on that, I have two questions for you.
Two.
Yes, but first on the diaspora voting bill, data is a huge part of it. Is this something under your purview? How do we know how many Nigerians are abroad that would benefit from this bill should it pass into law? But we started this conversation on the high notes, the successes. There are challenges. You've mentioned funding. There are those who say the lack of ambassadors in Nigeria's foreign missions. Over 17 months of this administration, President Bola Tinubu has yet to nominate ambassadors. How significant is that, and how does that impact your mandate?
Okay, let's start with, you've asked 3 questions now. Let's start with the diaspora. What did you say about diaspora?
The data. How many Nigerians are abroad?
No, we have a data portal. It's one of the first things we did. You know, it's growing gradually. I can't say we've reached, we say we have 17 million Nigerians abroad, but what about those who are even on our neighbors where you have free movement? So we have a data portal, and we encourage them just go on the data portal and register. Then we work with embassies. There are some embassies that have accurate data, like Vienna, Austria. They have, accurate data of Nigerians in that place. There are some who have, there are some who don't. So the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is encouraging every mission to get data, so that usually when there's a crisis, that's when you see them running in and say, I'm a Nigerian, I have a problem. Look at during COVID and during Ukraine crisis, yes, Sudan, South Africa, they're now saying that we have much more than we even imagined. So that's why we encourage them that you lose nothing, just putting your data on the portal. Google has your data anyway. So that is one. So that makes even the issue of diaspora voting a bit easier, because it will even be a push factor as to why it's important to register on the portal. So we have been doing that, and again, it's something that needs funding, which, as you say, we actually lack that, but I'm hoping that, it's something we'll work at. And then still talking about the challenge, you heard Dr. Bassey say that we need a diaspora hub. We don't even have an office as such.
In 5 years?
Well, that's what we've gone through so much. Even funding has been really, really poor, and we still don't have a proper befitting office. So hopefully we'll get there. We want a diaspora hub where we'll all get together, have conversations, because they come home all the time. They come to the office, a place, a space where we can have more than just the diaspora day or just the diaspora quarterly series, which we can do. So that's where data is on the way. What was it? The challenge.
The lack of ambassadors. Yes.
The lack of ambassadors. I think the Minister of Foreign Affairs will have to talk more about that.
Does this affect your work?
But I'm sure, no, it doesn't affect my work as
the
such, because
fact that Nigerians...
we have the embassy in Nigeria. So here's what we do. We have chargés in every mission that we work with. So there's a problem, I have somebody I can call. However, I'm sure that Mr. President will announce ambassadors soon. And for us, really, the fact is, who can I talk to? There's a problem we resolved yesterday. It's all about communication. Call the person there. This is the problem. And we're getting resolved. Even in Paris, I don't know whether some girl went online issue at the airport, and immediately we called the acting ambassador, and it was resolved immediately. So the key thing is communication and using technology to be able to solve most of these issues.
Okay, I think that's a good place to leave it, Madam Abike Dabiri Erewa.
And by the way, I want to also talk about what happened today, which is about a game changer for Nigerians in the diaspora. I'm so excited that what the Minister of Interior and CG Immigration, under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, did today is indeed a game changer. Now in Canada, now the contactless passport has started there. They don't need to move from one place to the other. Just sit in your home and apply, and then your passports are even delivered to you. In London, where I went last week, I was surprised. Some months ago, I went with courage but trepidation. But we got in there, it was like, oh my God, somebody I thought she would wait many hours, bought your ticket, maybe get there at 7, just wait for the very last train to leave at 11, but you were done in 2 hours. And that was from all of them. And then by the time the contactless starts in every part of the world, it's going to be really, really be a game changer. And I've used the e-gate. I think I was one of the first to use it. And you think, oh, am I sure I'm in Nigeria? So we can achieve a lot. And we thank the Minister, the CG Immigration, and particularly Mr. President, for all the support he gave them to ensure that this happens.
And we thank you too for joining us here on Newsnight.
Thank you.